Good morning, traders, and all you dads had a great Father's Day. So futures are up here a bit. What do we got? The S&P's up, what, 7.5? You know, comes just within a trading range. This is what has started now after the move up, and you know that's actually pretty bullish. That these markets, after having a run like this. And this next run lost some momentum. You can see how, the strength of this one and the bottoming tail bar there, correction bar. And it didn't make the measured move that this pattern historically results in, meaning the size of this move, you get a correction bar. And just a little more explanation is the size of this move cleared this resistance and came into the void area, no resistance to the left. So you typically get a move equal that of the first, and that didn't happen. So momentum slowed down. You had that whipsaw day where the FANG stocks and some of the leading semiconductors got shellacked. Obviously looks a lot worse on the NASDAQ. The S&P's had this tail on the top and the bottom. And then the retest buyers stepped up again, and now this morning we're coming up to retest the highs. Ideally, I would like to see a little more sideways. We'll see if that happens, because if it does that, what it's telling you is that buyers continue to step up here. And naturally, with the weekly in such a nice uptrend, it makes total sense that they would. But a little bit more sideways gets away from the uncertainty of this resistance right here. It absorbs that supply, so to speak, right? The demand is pushing it up here. The sellers are up here. They're the supply, and they're absorbing that. And by going sideways, it tells us that the price action is bullish and then should continue to the upside. Now, that doesn't mean it can't continue up today. But I'm talking about an ideal type of pattern where there are less odds of, a breakout and coming back in and chopping around that kind of whipsaw, because there's more price action to confirm the bullish trend. So that's why I'm saying I'd like to see a little more consolidation. We'll see what actually plays out. All right, NASDAQ futures here. This is where the big damage was done. The FANG stocks came in and some of the semis and so on. And it's holding up here at the rising 50. Here's the current day. Right? This is a 24-hour chart. And buyers coming in. So at this point, as traders, we have to decide, and do we want to buy this right now? Well, there's a plus and minuses to it. Well, we have a bottoming pattern going on here, right? Undeniable buyers are stepping up at the 50 MA. What's wrong with it? Well, when we look at all aspects of this, really nice momentum move, crack, V bottom, came right back. Unusual, but it is what it is. And here you see the type of a more measured type of a move without the correction bar, more of just the V bottom craziness kind of pattern that happened there. But you can see the equal move there, and then it comes down really hard again. And the angle this came down at straight down is bearish, and it happened in one day. However, buyers step right back up again. And then when they retest that low, right, rather than pushing down through the 50, they retest a low and another bottoming tail bar. So at this point, is it an ideal pattern for entry here? It's not ideal, but it certainly could work with a stop under these lows here. And what might happen? Well, again, ideally a little bit more choppy action. Do you want to sit through that? Maybe not, but getting in at this point may be the best point to get in, and sitting through whatever choppy action there may be through that, because you do have this resistance right here. So if it comes up today, it probably comes back in again. It's just historically the kind of pattern that would happen before, an attack to try and go through the new highs again, if they can get that together. In any event, your line in the sand is right down here with these two bottoming tail bars right there. Bonds, sideways this morning, chopping around here, waiting to see, I guess, whatever it is that they wait to see. But you got a wide range bar here and a consolidation at the top of it, and it looks great. By pushing up through the 200 MA, the prior resistance right there, all suggesting that bonds can go higher, which means interest rates come down lower. And with the Fed raising interest rates, there's still a lot of time before or if that might happen. However, if that trend is to continue, this is what we have to look out for, is that long-term interest rates come down where short-term interest rates eventually get up above them, and this scenario of an inverted yield curve is what will crack this market eventually in a big way. So they're a long way from that, but just keep an eye on bond prices if they continue to go up. And we know the Fed isn't going to stop raising interest rates now, so keep that in mind. So we got some of the, well, let's look at oil before we look at a few stocks here. And we'll get moving along here. Oil beginning to stabilize a little bit. The Dow moved up to a new high on Friday, and it was oil stocks that led it. Now, they're not making new highs, but look at Chevron. Right? It broke its downtrend by trading above that prior high. It had a big day on volume, so clearly buyers are stepping up on here. And as far as oil stocks go, this is one of the better looking weekly charts that they're out there. And Exxon had a downside shakeout. And, I think these stocks, if they can hold up here, they're going to help push the Dow higher. And the financials, which are coming around, we talked about that head and shoulders on the weekly in the past, being negated. Citibank, looking good. Goldman Sachs, not great, but it should get itself turned around. Big retracement you can see on the weekly. The red bar is not following through to the downside, and prices keep coming up. So financials are being accumulated here. Citi's the only one that really has been able to move above resistance, but the others should follow. And so they're on our watch list. We're actually looking to put a position on in Citi today. And, based on the news of Amazon taking on Whole Food market, the grocery stores and the discount stores, they all got hit big time last week. You can see Costco here, and there was Walmart and, a whole lot of others that took hits. So Target was trying to base, and that broke down there. So this morning we got Apple showing a little bit of strength. It's down near this major support area here, and just see the way that this came down. That's what I'm talking about when angles of retracement, the way prices come down. Prices typically don't just V-bottom and rip right back to the upside again. So, Apple looks like it's either going to have a longer resting period or possibly maybe a little bounce, which you can see it's up here a little bit this morning, chops around here and then further down, and we'll see where that takes it. And what else? We got Tesla. Still looks great. One of the best looking things out there. Undamaged by anything so far. Looks very good. NVIDIA, had that big ugly day, and so far it's surviving. Goldman says it's going to 171. We'll see if that happens. It's just holding up for now. And some speculation with Whole Foods that's up here a little bit about a bidding war possibly going on for that. So that's about it this morning. Just looking a few of, VRX. Some positive news on that. It's up a little bit here, but some changes going on, and could be a turnaround story. It's something you might want to keep an eye on. All right, everybody, have a great trading week. We'll talk tomorrow.